Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Mooncolony live stream. It's lovely to see you. I can see you've counted 3, 2, 1 and then gone into the negatives, so thank you very much. I know we're a little bit late, but only a minute. Today we're going to be doing a Q&A for you, so I hope you all brought some great questions. I'm joined here with Melissa, Dan, and Tulio. So say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
So we're going to be answering questions about working as a 2D artist, a concept artist, illustrator in the games industry, and maybe some questions about what it's like working for an outsourcing studio like Mooncolony and that kind of thing. But by all means, if anyone in the chat has any questions about sort of anything in particular, the only thing that we'll be really staying away from is employment, because that's not what we're here to talk about today. These guys are artists, they're nothing to do with the employment side of the company, so please save those for a future time. But while we get started, I thought it'd be nice to just go around and each of you to maybe tell us who you are and what it is that you do here at Mooncolony. I know you're all sort of concept artists, but Melissa, I don't know if we want to start with you, since everyone in the chat probably knows you already.
Yes, throw me under a bus. Yes. Well, I hope that people know me. I'm senior concept artist here at Mooncolony. I work on Hearthstone stuff. I don't know. What specifically you want to know, you can ask me. Even some private stuff, or how I learned, how I got here, whatever you have. But you know what? It's not fair, Jaden. We can also accept questions about you.
Yeah, I guess if anyone has any questions about me, sure, go ahead. I don't do art, but you can ask me questions if you like.
How long did you grow your beard for?
Yeah. Ask me questions about my beard. Dan's beard is way better, but it's okay. It's an art form in itself.
There we go.
But yeah, thank you, Melissa. Dan, I don't know if you want to go next. You haven't been on one of our streams before, so welcome.
No, it's first time. Well, I'm Dan, and same as Melissa, I'm a concept artist, senior, and now almost been working 3 years here at Mooncolony. And mostly what I do here is more focused on illustration as well for Hearthstone. All of mostly the cinematic work. Yeah. But before that, I was a concept artist. I worked in various studios. The last one was Microsoft. I was doing lots of Pirates and Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. Love Sea of Thieves.
So I had to take a break from all the Pirates. I started drawing cute Hearthstone stuff. But yeah, that's mostly me. And I have a beard as well.
Oh yeah, obviously. Yeah.
I see next. Sorry.
No,
I see next candidate Mattia wants to join us. I see. He's really keen to be on stream.
Yeah, Mattia, you can come along for the next one. It's okay. So then finally, Tulio, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself once again. You've been on the stream a few times, so I'm sure people know you as well.
Yeah. Hey everyone, I'm a character designer here and concept artist. And my major work here is doing some characters for Legendary Game of Heroes that I'm working 1.5 years on that project. So it's been amazing working with so many great artists like these ones in the call here.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Legendary is that it has so many different characters and so many styles that I can imagine it's a lot of fun. Keeps you busy.
Yeah. And it's great to see what everyone is doing in the studio,
Yeah.
I always dig there in the other project and see the process and the result of other artists. It's amazing.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot, guys. That was great. It's nice to see you all. So we actually got a question pretty much straight out of the gate, which is sort of to do with whether you feel insecure or maybe a little bit intimidated when you work on a new IP that you haven't that you don't know anything about. So if you're working on Hearthstone, there's a lot of Hearthstone art out there that is already circulating. So if you get approached for a new project that maybe isn't public yet or doesn't have anything with a similar style, if you have experience in that, how do you feel going into those projects? Does it make you feel a bit insecure? Are you a bit worried, or is it just part of the fun for you? Dan, you look like you're about to say something. Sorry.
Me?
Yeah, you just look like you were ready to go.
No, I don't know. I mean, that's the fun part at Mooncolony. Is the different kind of work that you always get, and I don't know. I mean, weirdly enough, for me, the hardest one is actually Hearthstone to work on, because it's quite far from what I do usually, and all the cutie stuff is the hardest for me.
Yeah.
So that's the big challenge. But no, it's I don't know. For me, that's the most exciting part, more than the one that is the most scary, because it's you get to dip your toes in something different, and as long as you have, I think the important thing is to get good directions, especially if you're starting, and hopefully if you're working with someone else is also really good to kind of like sync up, and kind of like it's part of the creative process, is always kind of like bouncing not just the ideas, but also kind of like adjusting little things together. This happened a lot with, for example, for the cinematics, we had to do it for some new projects that we had literally no direction. So we almost, it was down to us to make our own thing, let's say, and propose something new. And so that was really fun. I don't know. I don't know if insecurity is part there. I mean, that's always part with everything whenever you start. But I'd say if you keep it, that's the most interesting thing that can happen to you. So I would say forget about insecurity and just go for it. Then when the art director comes in, that's where the insecurity starts. The first Friday review, that's
really. For me, it's opposite. I like when the art director is there and I can speak to them. The more scary one is you get new project, there is nothing done yet, and they are like, make me something, do this and this, and they give you the Bible of the the references, the styles and concepts. Make me illustration out of this, and then you question yourself 3 times for every move you make. And
that's true.
You procrastinate a bit, and then you hope you did good.
The first 2 hours is just looking at references and saying, I can do this, and then you're like, oh, maybe, and then you're like, fuck it, I'll do it.
I just hope somebody is faster than me and they will send me some sample of work, so I know how it should look.
I think it's very excited. You have a new project. Yes, you don't. When it's a project that you didn't work, you don't have sure how it's going on, and if not exactly what you do, exactly your style, it's great to have other artists working on that and see the process and adjust what you do, what they are doing, and what is working better. And the art direction is always amazing, because you see you are going to a way or in the style, he push you back to the project, you can adjust that, and then with the whole team, I think usually everyone get better in the project, because I don't know, I don't think there is just will be just one person for a whole project, so it's good to be in the team.
You kind of get that support system, right, where if you're struggling, there's other artists, and then there's the art directors as well that you can lean on, who for a studio like Mooncolony, they have like a direct feed with the client that we're working with, or the partner that we're working with. So having that support system in place is really important for a studio like us. I think it makes a lot of sense. Thanks, guys. And I suppose as a lead on from that, it would be do you have any specific processes that you use to adapt your style? Like, I know, Dan, you mentioned that Hearthstone's not really your style, which is fine, but sometimes you might be, you might have to you might have to work on a little bit of Hearthstone maybe for a cinematic or something like that. How do you go about adapting your style into it? Is there any sort of steps that you take?
I mean, Hearthstone is quite, how do you say? It's quite easy with as long as you kind of adhere to a couple of general rules. What I usually do sometimes is to go and look for the extremes, so see how far people pushed it, you know, and that kind of helps you kind of like, okay, if this made it, you know, let's see how I can work my, you know, my style into, you know, this particular illustration or something. So it's a bit of try and error, and I always feel that everything is, you know, no matter how long you worked on something, it almost feels like it's the first time all the time. That's for me. So, you know, it's always a bit of that initial process of just doing lots of research, especially because I know absolutely nothing about World of Warcraft or Hearthstone and all that stuff. So, you know, another big thing is to have Rin, because I you know, I pester her with questions like, who's this guy, you know,
what's his deal?
What's his deal? Well, like, I remember one card I had to draw Thorin, and I kept referring to him as the big cow guy, you know, because I did not know that's you know, I was like, who's this guy? So for example, you know, that's something, and you know, you build a library in your head, and slowly you get over that kind of stuff, like building the like a mental library of the different styles and the different you know, how different artists approach it, and then, you know, you slowly learn. I feel like that's always the best way of learning for me, is just to look at lots of different things, and you pick up little, you know, bits here and there, and then you can put it in all together. But yeah, if I had to say, like, that's kind of like how I approach it usually. You know, make lots of questions, look a lot of different things, and then just try. See what comes out.
Jump in, get started. Melissa, you had your hand up.
Yes, like a good student. It's also a good idea because we have live games, both Hearthstone and WoW. We can play both. So sometimes at the beginning I would be like, husband, I need help. I need this zone, and he would log me in there. Oh, is Tulio still here?
Tulio just dropped out for a second, but
I will continue.
We'll carry on.
Hello.
He's back.
And he would leave me, and I try to take a screenshot of this specific thing I need for the board. I get killed just by dropping. And go up again and take a screenshot, and then the game would glitch out and take me in the other zone. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I played for 2 hours now, time to draw something.
Being an artist is a hard work, you know.
Trying every day. Playing the game.
Yeah. So yeah, sometimes I can imagine like having, if the game is already out and like a live game like Hearthstone or World of Warcraft, you know, you've got as many references as you could possibly need just by going into the game. I know there's websites out there as well that have all of the maps uploaded, and you can explore them in 3D and all the models and everything as well. Yeah, so you know, you can always use those. Tulio, I don't know if you have anything to add.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I agree with what they did say in Milica.
Yeah.
It's pretty much that.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. There's another question. We've got so many questions come through.
Look how happy he is.
I'll be fast.
I know, I'm so happy. This one's quite a fun one. Is, you know, was there a specific project that you were really excited to work on that, you know, that's come through, whether that's before Mooncolony or during? Anyone?
Let someone else go first this time.
Yeah, I can say that Diablo stuff that I did work. I was very excited to work on. It was an amazing experience to do.
Yeah,
it's not out yet, but it was amazing to work a little bit in that project.
Yeah, and I mean the cinematic that we've done for Diablo that's out now is just incredible.
I haven't had the chance to work on that, but was amazing. I saw yesterday on the ArtStation. I recommend everyone here to check it out. It's unbelievable. It's amazing. Oh, I astonish. I think I scroll down and up 30 times to see everything.
Look at every single every time one of those come out, I'm just time for a new background on my PC.
Yeah. I don't know. Did you have a chance to work on that, Dan? The cinematic?
No. I was busy drawing, the cute part of, Blizzard work. But when we did the Wayfinder, that was definitely, especially at the beginning, that was really, really cool to work on because, we literally had no direction from the studio. It was kind of like we had to do a bit of a, kind of like an art test. So I was, okay, you guys go for like 2 days and come up with something. So we kind of, chose a little bit the art style to work with. So that was a very, we were all very proud because I think it was only 3 of us working at the beginning. Then we became, a lot more, but we all 3 did very specific different things. And they all liked them. So we're like, well, do all of them, and so we're all really, really happy that worked out. And it was really cool. But that was one of those occasions where you're like, well, they gave us only 4 characters and that's all we know, some concept art here and there. But most of us, most of it was just figuring out an art style to work with and making something, because then you have to think of like, okay, it took us 2 days to do just this, and we have to do 50 more. Is that doable? How can we make it faster and all that stuff? So it becomes a process, but it's still, it's still fun to come up with, the solutions. So that was really, really fun to work on.
Yeah, that was cool. I think that was something that I liked seeing, when we were doing the Wayfinder stuff, was the amount of like creative freedom that you guys were allowed to have, and it really shined through. It was nice, and it was quite different from the art that we've done before as well. The style was pretty unique for us. So
sometimes they would just come up and say like, oh, we want this shot to look very anime, so make it super stylized. I'm like, okay. On it.
Melissa, do you have a project that you were really excited to work on?
I just like my comfort zone. I have been doing card art for years. I'm the happiest when you leave me with card art. Yeah, I work on the cinematics for Hearthstone a lot. But I'm like, please, can I have just one card? One little card I can work on in the meanwhile.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, being in your comfort zone. Some people don't like to be pushed.
Not pushed does have time frame that you can see. Maybe it's this week, and it's easier when you see where the end is, rather than just adding stuff, changing, adding more.
Yeah.
Something not working.
Cool. Well, I think to kind of wind back quite a way, someone's asked a question, but I think I'm just going to reword it a little bit and talk about maybe each of your journeys into the art industry and sort of what made you want to join the art industry, maybe specifically games art, and the process that you took to start your journey, and how you got to where you are now. I know that can be quite a long topic, but if we could,
so it was 1993.
Yeah. So it all began when I was born. But because I just feel like each of you probably have different reasons why you joined, and different sort of avenues that you might have taken. So it'll be interesting to show that you might not specifically need a degree or anything to get a job or something like that, or go to an art school or anything. But Melissa, I don't know if you wanted to start with that, or
I also saw when you said art school, I saw the question somebody asked, do they need to go to academy or art school? No, you don't. I'm self-taught artist, and somehow I'm good enough for these guys to call me to work with them, and I'm so happy about it. But yeah, you can just love drawing. And what worked for me, not that I don't like physical work, but what motivates me a lot is just not wanting to be for months on the sun doing physical labor that's not mentally. The most challenging thing is doing the same thing for the whole day, days on the end. And I'm like, no, I want to draw. So from the first money I got when I turned 18, I bought me a laptop, and later I got me smallest tintos and I started drawing. And then everything you need there is on YouTube, on internet. Even if you want, you don't have to put a dime rather than the hardware for the start, for the learning. You have a lot of resources. You have also us here on the Discord. The people ask me all the time. The other day I was sitting with my cousin because, you know, the family see I want to do what she's doing, and they start bugging me. I'm like, okay, let's give you an hour to explain you how it's done, because I thought it's magic. I don't know how. I saw the game, I see 3D, but I didn't know how it's made. So whenever I saw art on the internet, it didn't get to me how it's made, and there is one person behind it. So when I discovered the first time, there was no artist around me. So I was like, oh, this is DeviantArt. Oh, there are some drawings. And then I started posting mine. And then I started liking the idea of digital art. And then people start asking me for commissions. I'm like, what? There is money in this? And they start asking for more commissions. And while I go to different kind of school, I would also start doing this. You get a bit better, you get better job, you get better, you get better job. Sometimes you apply, and then suddenly everyone starts calling you. You don't have to apply anymore. And then you just say yes or no to whatever you like. And that's how it goes.
Just get
For
famous.
me.
Just get famous. It's so easy.
Just get better. I don't know. It worked for me somehow.
Yeah.
When you reach the point where you don't even have to update your portfolio, you know that you've done it.
Yeah, but I like updating my portfolio and socials. I take pride in that.
That's good. That's good. You see, that's the equivalent of physical labor for me. You know, that you were saying. That's the part that I cannot stand. So
I will
like
take
to live
you.
in the shadow.
I will take you to far where I'm from to pick berries, and you will have motivation after just 2 days.
Okay.
Let's not argue over who had the roughest childhood. Okay.
Oh, that's competition. I want to compete.
No.
And I will go like
I have stories, but let's not go into it.
Yeah,
let's do.
me too. I'm thinking, I don't want to take this way.
We'll tell you what, we will have the who had the roughest childhood competition next time. It's fine.
Yeah.
Can we agree that our parents probably didn't believe that we'll make money or anything?
Well, that was the thing. My dad was like, prove it to me that this works, and it will be fine. And,
yeah.
And it worked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree with what Melissa said. With the kind of like, you don't need certain things. You don't specifically need an education, or go to a school. But what I really believe in is making connection, and a lot of that happens in school or in academy. Like, for example, I didn't do specifically anything related to the field that I work on. I did a graphic design university course, and for a long time I wanted to do animation rather than anything else, but then you meet people and you get I had this friend who was like, oh, we both really like games, you like drawing, I like drawing, should we do this master class? It's just 1 year in the UK. And so I'm like, I don't know what to do because we just graduated. And I was like, let's do it, let's try it. And there I met lots of people. So still, my closest friends, and they're all great artists. And so, the best for me, what I really believe in is to make those kind of connections and create a bit of a group. And now it's even easier with everything online and all that stuff. But it's always good to get out there, don't stay in your dark room.
Yeah.
Because you need to make those experiences, so then your child can say, oh, my dad had it much harder than me, or stuff like that. No, I'm joking. But you know, but yeah, so I would say it's all a bit of a chance sometimes, but you kind of need to make the environment, you know, around you kind of like, how do I say it? You know, you have to create yourself the chance.
Yeah, you have to make your own luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like, you know, engaging is very important, and that's how you get as well, you know. That's how you learn the most, because kind of like Melissa, I never, no one ever taught me how to, you know, draw and do stuff specifically. You know, it's something that you can do your own, and you just need to kind of like find your path. And I mean, for example, myself, I did a masterclass in concept art, but you know, I don't even know how I got into that class, because I never did anything like that before. It was always me with drawings by myself, you know, drawing by myself and all that kind of. I had no idea about the job after. I was just, let's see how it works, and then from there, you know, you have to go slowly, step by step, and not everyone is a genius artist right away. And you know, that's sometimes the mistake that I see a lot of people doing, is wanting to aim already for the top. And you know, sometimes you need to try and see how it works, because that's a whole different reality, knowing how it works. You know, how to work in a studio with other people. You know, I started in mobile companies in Scotland. I did like a few years there before moving into something bigger, and I feel like that laid a good foundation to know how to work in a team and all that kind of stuff, because that's equally important as being a good artist. Sometimes it's even more important than being a great artist. So yeah, I would say take all the steps and don't rush, you know, too fast and too hard at the beginning, because you need to learn a lot of different things. So yeah,
I mean, sorry, no, you can go ahead.
You're right there. Many people just stress about to get a better job, getting into bigger studio, but nobody is happy in the moment what they are doing now. Oh, I got this commission, this is so great, and then be happy about your day or your week, and then planning a bit short term. Because if you're constantly worrying about future, it's called being anxious.
Indeed.
That comes after.
Yeah, I mean, I think I come from like a games design background. That was what I did at university, and everyone there, you know, you go in and you have really lofty aspirations. You know, you want to work for the big guys, but I think as you say, you do kind of have to, you know, think, okay, well, I'll work up to that. You know, I'll you know, start with the little guys, learn how to, you know, as you say, work as a team and develop my skills in the place that's maybe a bit safer. And then, you know, you never know, 5-10 years down the line, you could be working in those big places. So, yeah.
I mean, in uni, I promised myself I would never work for World of Warcraft, you know. Look what happened.
Yeah. But yeah, Tulio, I don't know if what was your sort of reasoning and way into the
I did. I until my early 20, I have no idea that there is. You see art in the games, but you have no idea that who is doing that, how is doing that, how is the process. There is money involved. So when I found a guy in Brazil in the YouTube, and I saw he drawing and painting in the computer, so that is possible. And then I was digging, I did found ArtStation, and there is a section in ArtStation called jobs, and I saw so many jobs. There is a whole market in there. There is money involved, there is a chance. So I think, if there is so many so many people looking for artists. The problem here is the quality, the level of quality. So if I start to study now, maybe eventually I will get better. So eventually I will get a job. So it's pretty much that. So I did all the courses that I did find in the internet, and I did go to improving. And like Milica say, we start small. We start with commissions and small jobs, you know, and you try to do your best every time that you can, and keep studying. That eventually will come greater opportunities through your career, and keep improving. I think that Milica say that you just have to get better. I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing, because if you go to the art station and you go to the artists, there is all good art, and they are all in the trends, you know, and probably the studios is all reaching their artists. So if you producing fine art, you know, the good quality, use a studio or a company will see you and reach you. I think it's simple like that. The hard thing is to study and learn, and how much like higher you get in quality, harder it gets to reach that. But yeah, it's part of the job. If it wasn't hard, everyone was here.
Yeah.
You would have 10 more people here.
Yeah, indeed. I think it's pretty much that. I about art school. I wish I would go to an art school, because I graduated to a thing there is nothing to do with art, you know. But there is nothing here in the country, so I just glad that it found in the internet everything that I needed, and I'm just grateful, you know, for being work with something that I did imagine when I was a kid, and I did lost the faith that it would be possible when I was a teenager. So well, it's amazing to be part of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it sounds like it's, you know, there's loads of avenues you can take, but they all kind of follow the same theme, right? Of, you know, just taking that time to really hone your skills, and you know, people are memeing about it in the chat, like, get good. But you know, it's not. You know, we're not saying it's easy to get good, but you know, it's just finding the time in your day to spend, like, you know, a couple of hours doing something, you know, or as Dan said, you know, making those connections around you, whether that's going and joining Discord communities like ours, or, you know, maybe even going to industry events like Concept 101, or like that we went to a few weeks back, or maybe Lightbox Expo, I think, is on this weekend. So, you know, getting yourself out there is really important. And I didn't know if you guys, when you were still learning, or even now, go to those kind of industry, or went to those kind of industry events and met people there, or if you didn't go, you know, what are your thoughts on them?
Oh, you forgot that we were there already.
Yeah, I know, it was a while ago.
We need to visit him again.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're back. Oh, I just, if I can start it, I just had the opportunity to go to an art event here in the country last year, and it was amazing, because I already knew a lot of artists that was there, and meet in person the people. It's great. I did recommend to everyone, you get out there, inspired, and if you have the chance, go in. If I could go to the other, in the other countries, like the Concept 101 that they had in England, would be amazing, and I think you should participate. But sometimes, yes, you are in the other country, you are already with full jobs here, you know, if your plate full, and it's not possible. But I did recommend it totally. But you can learn with other things. I know. I think the important thing is the connections that you do in that event, because you can learn with a video on YouTube. You don't need to get out your house. But the connections that you do, it's more personally when you can meet the people and talk it and take a time and know it. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes you find the random, gems here and there, because there's usually there's talks and people discuss, kind of like what we're doing as well. I heard a few people last time we did the Concept 101 this September that were really, they said that the talk that Jill, from Mooncolony did, they said like that's actually really good points, because it's all about how to present your portfolio and what companies could be looking into, which is something that, again, you can find anything, you find most of everything online, but you never have maybe the chance to ask a question directly or interacting with the people that are actually working. So I don't think it's a life-changing experience, but it's always a good, if you can do it, don't go out of your way to attend these events, because sometimes they can be really expensive, and it's
for sure.
If you can put the money into something, I don't want to say more useful, but practically useful, let's say. But if you have the time and and the means to kind of engage in this way, I feel like it's always a good experience, both for you and also for us, for example, because I got to see lots of different artists, and a few of them I was like, oh, maybe we should keep a look on this person or whatever. So you interact with people, and you also get a chance to see the real thing, and so I would say it's a good balance of yes and no, depending on it's very personal. It's always hard to give an advice on these things, because like I said, a lot of times sometimes when you hear people have there was one guy that came all the way from Australia. I was like, oh wow.
What, to Concept 101?
Yeah, to Concept 101. I was like, oh wow. I was like, okay. So
there is
okay,
Australia?
well, apparently, unless he was lying to me. So I was like, okay, cool. So it really depends, but it's always a good experience. I feel, I never went to any before I was in the industry, because I did not know they existed.
I never met physically with any colleagues until this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Now she never will again. She hated it.
Being an introvert, being in country that don't have much of these events, also, as you said, seeing practice, putting the funds into something more useful rather than this. But somehow you make it go. Someday I will go. By the time you go, you stop care about it that much. But it was fun. From that point, the fun, yes.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was great to go to Concept 101. I really enjoyed it. But I wasn't there as an artist. I was there as a community manager. So I was just really happy to see people and chat with people. It was great. So, but no, awesome. I think sort of moving away from that, and I guess more into the moving more into the. Sorry, I just saw the chat with Katie just called me a fool. So thank you very much. Moving more into the collaborative side of the job as well, because I don't think many people really realize that some of these projects are really collaborative. There's somewhere we have sort of 4 or 5 artists working on a piece at one time. So how do you guys kind of make sure that everyone is on the same page? Is that something that you kind of talk to each other about? Is that something where the art director or production maybe just goes, look, you guys just do what you do and I'll handle it? Like, how do you make sure that everyone's on the same page and all your styles kind of line up and that kind of thing?
Do you want me to?
Anyone can hop in.
Well, we
Yeah,
got Amy, Katie, and Rin to keep us in line,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
say do this, we do that, and they ask where is it? It's already 6. Can we get our files? Or Emra is even stricter. He's like, my files now. And then you send them, they will compile it all together, and then you do multiple rounds of polishing and putting it together. Then you take a look what others did, adjust yours, they adjust theirs. At the end it works, and then they take one artist who will do one more pass over everything, so it looks consistent. So
Okay.
no one thinks that this is artist with multiple personalities.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way to, to have the same thing from everyone.
Yeah.
There are some projects that do have a more strict. I remember the first few cinematics for Blizzards, it was way more strict. The kind of like the artistic, um, rules, let's say, that we had to follow. So it was much more, okay, we have to do this in the same style. So try and keep it as close as possible. And there's others where, for example, for not to go always back to the Wayfinder, but because that's the weirdest one that I worked on, because like I said, there was no direction. It took a while to kind of like all of us getting adjusted to the style. So slowly you pick up something from someone else and you're like, oh, I like the way you put a light in this scene, or how the rendering is on the face, so maybe let me try and do this. So we all kind of like, all of our style kind of like combined at some point.
Yeah.
But that also happens when you're working on, I remember in the studio in the previous studios, same thing. When you're doing concept art, you can kind of keep a bit more of your style, but that doesn't mean that you don't learn from the other people that are working with you, and you're like, oh, I like the way you do this kind of stuff, or this is interesting, and it's it kind of goes a little bit into the whole thing of like improving your art and stuff like that. It's working with other people, that's also a really good way of learning new things and keeping it fresh, because you always are bombarded by different different ways of doing the same thing, so you kind of visually learn how to do different stuff. So I feel like that's always the case with multiple people working on the same thing.
No, that makes sense.
Indeed, and the art direction that you adjust the course, the direction that you are going, it's great. It's what will help you to keep everyone in the line, because usually everyone in the project is already have a style that is in a level similar to the project. Usually the team it's gathered by the style that is close to the project. So usually they try to keep everyone at very close style and just give the adjustments to the project. I see that.
Yeah, and when you're working on a project, like it could be either a concept art or a larger illustration, whatever. How much do you guys lean on those art directors? Are you contact them every? Are you talking to them sort of every day, every few days? Every 6 hours? Like how much do you guys rely on them, and how much do you kind of go, no, okay, I think I'm good to kind of take this on myself for a while.
I think it depends. It varies from project to project. Like everything is kind of different. There's never kind of like a rule for these things. But definitely, the more people are in there, the more you need, someone to kind of like take all the pieces and kind of like say this is working well, or what should we do. So it's really, I mean, from my experience at least, it's very dependent on the kind of projects. There's some times where you're just doing your own stuff and you just post it, and because we have different, when you work on anything you have different stages. So you kind of need to have the green check mark to say, okay, keep going. So and you know, if you're good and fast, it can be every day.
Yeah.
If you're lazy like me, it can take a couple of days. You know?
Basically, you want to hear less possible from your art
Yeah,
director.
exactly.
The least possible feedback means this is all good to go.
Yeah.
Sorry, just saw Tulio's face, and he just looked really shocked. How often do you hear from your art director, Tulio?
Oh, as Milica say, I did try to do my best to use the less time possible of the feedback from the art direction, you know, because I will try to push me to the limit, and then to my limit beyond, the art direction will push what I did miss to apply, you know. I think this is the way.
Yeah.
Because if you just depend on the art direction, you just have to be pulling.
Yeah.
So I did try to do that, try to match much as possible. You know, my goal is like this. I will do this the best that I can to have no feedback and no comeback here. But yes, of course, there is always one thing here and there you can improve. So it's normal.
Yeah.
But I think this mentality, I think it's the right thing for me, at least.
Yeah.
When they leave you a small heart or happy face on your comment, and sometimes other artists do too, you're like, the biggest compliment.
And it's 5 o'clock, and you're like, okay, I can actually, you know,
I can actually rest.
I can actually take a break now.
Indeed. Exactly that, man.
Nice. So we have a question from the chat, which kind of changes topic a little bit, but it's fine. And it's about sort of how much time you guys dedicate to just working on improving your art or your skills. You know, how much time do you set aside, if any? You know, if you a week or a month or whatever. You know, how often do you set aside time to just go? You know, I'm gonna just do some studies, or I'm just gonna draw something for myself just to improve and learn.
Pick one. Oh, if I can start.
Yeah, go ahead.
To start it, I did try to start my day just studying 1 or 2 hours, you know, from a draw topic, you know, like I don't know, I have difficult in mouth in perspective. I do and try to improve that skill, and then I try to prove a painting skill, you know, something I'm trying to painting better, and I will apply in the day. In the job, so I did try to use 1 or 2 hours in a day. When I have more tight deadlines, usually I cut this part and go directly to the job. But I try to use 2 hours before the start to working to study what I will apply in the day or what I have difficult as an overall topic, you know.
Yeah.
And I did try to use the free time to personal project and stuff, but it's pretty much like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of other things that you might want to be doing, like in your free time as well. You know, you have a life to live.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's my mantra.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on a complete opposite, you know, spectrum there. I feel like for me it's very much personal work and those kind of things. It's very much kind of like almost on a whim, you know. You have to feel, sometimes you have to push yourself, you know, to do studies and stuff like that. But yeah, like there are some periods where I'm just, you know, I just want to take it easy with my spare time, and I want to do some personal stuff, you know, dedicate it to other things other than just art. And especially if you look at doing, I mean, you are working every day for you know, hopefully at least 8 hours, you know, working and drawing. So you know, you're the thing is you're always constantly improving, you know. That's how you get better, by doing your craft. And I feel like for me the way I notice for me, you know, how I learn a lot is by looking at a lot of different type of things rather than just trying and doing it right away, let's say. So sometimes I just notice that I've been staring at, you know, an art piece for 30 minutes and trying to kind of like dissect all the different ways they realize some stuff.
Yeah.
And then unconsciously you see that you're trying to do it while you work and all that stuff. So yeah, for me it really depends. There are periods of times where I just, you know, I get off work and I draw for, you know, 2 months, and then I stop for another 2 months and I do something else in my spare time.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing that makes me feel better about it is because I'm like, oh, okay, I mean, come on, I'm doing it all day already.
All the day.
So,
Yeah.
Unless you're going on autopilot, and I'm never on autopilot. I'm always kind of like struggling to do some stuff. So if you're struggling, it means that you're kind of like, you know, you're also trying to solve some bits.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like it really depends from people to people. But then, then I feel bad whenever in our, you know, in our Discord, there's people, oh, I've done this study today. Like, what have I been doing?
Yeah. I mean, there was, who was it? It might have been, I think it might have been Alan, who every day for like a week was like, oh, I just spent half an hour doing this in the morning. And it's like some really nicely done fruit. And it's like, oh, okay, cool, nice. Yeah.
Exactly.
You need other artists to show you that they're doing something, so you feel a bit ashamed. So you do something rather than inspired. You should feel inspired, but what you feel is shame that you did nothing recently. I'm ashamed because I'm like, this is the last good weekend of the year, and the next weekend, this is also the last sunny weekend of the year. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy, because I spent multiple years before doing freelance next to the full-time job because I wanted to, but then I would miss everything that's outside of the room. And I'm like, you know what? Let's switch it now. Let's go outside. And the studies and stuff I will do whenever, like you make me do studies whenever. Tomorrow. Call for tomorrow. There is a stream tomorrow. We're gonna do some skulls, animal human skulls for Spooktober.
Yeah.
But also it's very important to learn new things, like different stuff, for example, because you get, you know, you never know what you're gonna learn from doing other things, you know. Last year I spent half the year going back into animation, and you know, it's important not to get too fossilized on, you know, on something. But probably at the beginning it's better to put a lot of effort into, you know, the learning and practicing. So have a good balance, like everything.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, I think it, as with everything, it comes down to having that, you know, that nice like work-life balance, even if it's not your job necessarily. You know, you're still putting a lot of work into it. So, yeah, don't let it take over your whole life. You know? But just a few hours every day when you're starting off, and then, you know, once you start doing it for a job, like you said, Dan, you're going to be learning all day every day anyway, so you can probably get away with not, you know, doing it all the time.
For me, there is usually hyperfixation. For a week I would do studies, I would do drawings, I would do something, and then I'm like, I'm good, I will continue. Same like doing body exercises. And then I stop and get lazy, and I actually need to draw something, because most time I render and illustrate with the colors. And I'm like, oh, I'm rusty. I'm called senior, but I don't know to draw. I don't know how to draw anymore. So, okay, let's do again the warm-ups, some studies, and then do the actual work. Sometimes you have to. You're needed to do a study before you do the work.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, we've got about 5 minutes left. So if anyone in the chat has any other questions, feel free to fire them away. But yeah, we got one from Katie that was just, what are your guys' favorite things to study or to draw? You know? Or what's your favorite medium? Maybe some of you prefer more classic mediums than digital. But
I would say everything that is not in my everyday working kind of scenario, I would say. So, you know, I get all the brains, all the, you know, blood and all the nasty bits out of my system, so then I can go back and draw all the puffy cute.
All the puffy cute things. Man,
Yeah.
your sketchbooks must be.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah, horrific. I mean, I think we can probably guess what Melissa likes to study, right, Melissa?
Cute dragons.
It's more what people don't know what I'm doing in real life. Like on the farm stuff that gets them. I'm like, I thought you like animals. I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, animals, lizards, cute stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, also skulls.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it to paint faces, you know, and draw faces and dig into the features and anatomy, you know, types of body. But you know, usually the favorite things that you want to study is not your weak points. So you have to study not your favorite things because so I did try to balance with the things that I have to improve, you know. But I love to paint some faces.
Yeah.
And use some different brushes. In that time, what brush do you use? To try experimentation with the face, you know. What type of brush can I do a better hair here? You know, to try to mimic sometimes the traditional, but it's pretty much that.
And I feel like it's what helped me a lot is to study the artists that you really like. I know it's very simple thing to say, but that helped me a lot with a lot of different things, you know, because I never, like we said previously, you know, I never did anything specific related to art and all that kind of stuff. So even anatomy or how to stylize certain things, you know, I had a few really good artists that I really liked. I was like, oh, I never, you know, I remember in my thesis, I was so ashamed because all my characters did not have any feet because I never drew feet before. You know, I was like, yeah, they were just like pointy legs or something like that. So I was like, okay, well, and I have to start, you know, I have to start doing something for it. So, you know, I spent like a good 2-3 weeks just looking at how different artists did, you know, feet and boots and all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh wow! And now it's my favorite thing to draw. You know.
Yeah. Is that before or after you got your first?
No, that was before.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, I'd love to have, you know, had someone look at your portfolio and go, wow, this guy's great. To get you into draw a person up. Why do they not have any feet?
No, I'm pretty sure everyone has feet in my portfolio.
I'm going to check after this.
Oh, no.
It's true. When they put you out of your comfort zone, something you don't know how to draw, you're like, I must hide this by doing the best job I can. I will do studies, I will do whatever it takes to look like normal. And they never would know that I didn't know how to do this.
Yeah. So I think we'll probably do maybe like one or two other quick ones. I know we're kind of at time, but Checkered Cat just asked, do you ever feel anxious when you have to talk to a senior / director of a company, or well, I'm assuming like of Mooncolony? Do you ever feel anxious when you have to talk to sort of higher up, like Emra, for example? Because they're saying they're afraid it would just bother them. You know, like
I'm always anxious to talk to Emra.
Yeah, it's a scary guy.
Yeah.
If he asks you for something, he probably needs something serious. He's not just checking how are you feeling today.
There's always a follow-up question.
But I'm really happy to talk to Rin any day. I would just send her not just business-related stuff, but funny stuff, or ask her, or I remember we talked about something. So I just love having conversation.
Yeah.
One thing that I would say is don't be scared of approaching someone, because we're all humans.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because we're all humans, also be very respectful of the time and you know, I've seen very different kind of approaches and people approaching. So you know, there has to be you know, that kind of respect of your time, respect of, you know, if I'm dedicating you some time, you know,
yeah,
just be mindful of that, but never be scared of, as long as you're, you know, decent in your approach and
yeah,
but never feel like you cannot, you know, you're bothering someone. You probably will, but, you know, at the same time, it's also up to us to just say, okay, I've been there. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, for example, if you wanted to speak to any of the artists that we work at Mooncolony, you know, I think a lot of people would be happy to have a chat, but, you know, just
Absolutely.
put it in the Discord first. You know, don't DM them or anything like that. I know some people do, but please don't. As Dan said, there people do, and they have work to do and stuff like that. So put a message in there and maybe let me know if you want, if you have anyone specifically you want to chat to, but or hop in the voice chat. You know, we're a lot of us are in there. I know Melissa and Leonie are in there fairly often, so, you know, come in there and ask away, because I think we all want to help. So let's just bother Jaden then. Okay, exactly. That's what I'm here for.
I think I have opposite effect. The people run away when I'm there.
It's because you tell some horrifying stories.
It's normal.
For you. No, we
don't use Melissa as a, you know, as a rule of thumb.
Yeah.
As an average. I'm joking. Maybe.
But yeah, I think that's sort of all the questions we've got for today. So, you know, I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for coming along, Melissa, Dan, and Tulio. It's been a pleasure, as always. And, you know, it's always great to have Melissa and Tulio along. And Dan, hopefully we'll have you on some more in the future. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll twist your arm. Yeah,
I'll have a better camera by then.
Oh, yours is fine. I think mine's probably the worst one on here. But no, thank you so much, and thank you everyone in chat for all of the questions and everything. It was great. I had loads more on the side that I didn't even need to touch, so that's fantastic. I'm sure we'll do something similar in the future if you guys get any more. But as Melissa said earlier, come along tomorrow. We'll be doing a lovely sort of, I don't want to say spooky, but we'll be doing a Halloweeny Spooktober study with some skulls and some animal heads. Are you feeling ready for that, Melissa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I will just throw off my phone because it will be beeping, and we should be good. But I will prepare this evening a bit.
Great. Well, be sure to hang around after the stream is done. I'll send us off on a raid to some wonderful art streamer that I find. So stick around, it'll be great. But thanks again, everyone, and I'll see you all tomorrow. So goodbye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.